I'm Elaine Bitonti, and I'm the Vice President General Manager of the Connected Battlespace and Emerging Capabilities portfolio. What we do is help customers understand how they can implement JADC2. JADC2 stands for Joint All-Domain Command and Control. You may also hear it referred to as CJADC2, which is combined Joint All-Domain Command and Control. And really, the high-level strategy from the DoD perspective is how do they sense, make sense, and act faster than the adversary? And what are all of the systems and all of the connections that are needed to make that a reality? And part of that means that they have to operate across all domains. So if you think space, air, land, surface, and they also have to be able to do that not just within our Department of Defense, but with our allied partners, which is really the combined part, is how do we bring a combined force together to successfully execute if we were ever to get into a near-peer conflict. Why CBEC was created was we realized that we had a hole in the way that we were approaching the emerging market for JADC2 connected battlespace. And as that market began to emerge, the emphasis that the customer placed on actually seeing your technology in action in a demonstration or in a modeling and simulation environment became very, very high. And the customer really wanted to see end-to-end integrated solutions. So one of the roles of CBEC is to look across all of those portfolios and pull those solutions together and show the customer how they all can work together to solve the problem. JADC2 is a very, very complex problem set. I think you could think about it as if you had people from 8 different countries all speaking 8 different languages, but they had to all understand each other and have the same information at the same time. How are you going to do that translation? How are you going to make those connections? Some of the key technologies needed to solve this problem set is better enhanced all-domain C2. So really understanding if you have a threat and you have an effect that you need to put on the threat, who is assigned to do that? Who is best positioned to do that? How is all of that done at speed? That's going to require AI. That's going to require machine learning to really, go through all of those algorithms and make all of those calculations at the speed needed. Another critical technology is, I'll call it a network of networks. Really, how are all of these decisions that are being made by the C2 systems and the people managing the C2 systems going to be communicated to all of the assets that need to understand their tasking? Each asset speaks a different language, may use a different communication system. You need a network of networks that can bridge between those and seamlessly pass data so that the operators of the aircraft, of the surface vessels, of the ground vehicles, they don't need to know how that translation is happening. They just are assured that it's happening and the messaging is being passed. So there's very, very important advancements in communication and networking that are needed to underpin this. And then I think there's very advanced sensors that are needed to actually be able to detect the type of threats that peer adversaries have. So there's really a lot going on in many different domains across RTX that can help solve these problems. One of the things that we do across RTX is operational analysis. And we really look at, if we want to maximize this aircraft, what is most important? Is it the engine? Is it the range of the weapon? What is the limiting factor? And really having analysis that shows the customer that is one of the best ways to build relationship, because then they see that you understand their problem. They know that you have different solutions to help them, and they can really see the impact on their operational effectiveness, and that's what they're looking for. When you go and you speak to the customer and you hear the urgency in their voice about how they need to solve these problems and what it will mean if we don't, it's an urgency that I have not heard before, and I've been working in the DoD space for 20 years. And I think that's really a call to action for those of us in industry to really get in that mindset and understand how do we break down barriers to be able to serve our customer in that way, because they're going out there and they do very hard things every day that could cause them not to come home. And that does have a profound effect, right, when you think about what we're doing, what Collins is doing, and what RTX is doing.